Welcome back to Shovel Knight. Last time, we finished off Shovel Knight's campaign, and now we're going to start playing as the second playable character. Go to Profile Select, choose Plague Knight, and there you go, you're able to start off the Plague of Shadows campaign. Of course, the only way to unlock this is to play as Shovel Knight first, so I think the developers kind of expect you to be familiar with a lot of aspects of the game, such as some of the platforming challenges, some of the bosses, things like that. Also, the story is pretty similar. They're using the same kind of background pictures as well, but this kind of gives off the hint that one of the knights in particular, Plague Knight of course, has some ulterior motives behind just being part of the Order of No Quarter, and also the whole starting off with Shovel Knight and Shield Knight thing kind of hints off that this campaign happens in tandem with Shovel Knight's campaign. It's not one after the other or anything like that. So there might be some references back to the main Shovel Knight campaign that we'll see in a bit. Actually, the first one was just there. That was Mona, the girl who runs that juggling minigame in the bar, I guess, of the village. Also, because we're one of the Order of No Quarter, we have our own little acolytes, well, minions in this case. And hinting at Plague Knight's personality, they're kind of scared of him. Of course, Plague Knight does not play like Shovel Knight. Instead of throwing off his shovel, well, not throwing his shovel, swiping with his shovel, he has bombs. Very useful bombs. They have more long-range capabilities than Shovel Knight, although I think they take a little longer to come out than Shovel Knight's shovel swipe. And Plague Knight has a charge shot from the start. Well, it's called a burst in this game, and those minions actually taught us how to use it. You hold down the attack button, and once Plague Knight is glowing, let go of the button, and he'll cause a little explosion underneath him. That allows him to get some good height. Plague Knight also has a double jump, which can get you some good height, but I still think that it's less than Shovel Knight's height. At least it seems like it is. Also, we have these health tonics. Plague Knight does not increase his health in an orthodox way like Shovel Knight does. Rather than having meal tickets to increase it, you have these health tonics. And what they do is essentially you drink one and your health gets extended by 1 dot. They can also heal you if you're at full health. Wait. By which I mean, if your health bar is maxed out at 10 dots and say you have 1 dot down, if you grab a health tonic and drink it, then it'll heal you that 1 health without increasing your health anymore. Another special thing about Plague Knight as of now is that he has a limit of 3 bombs that he can shoot. So after 3 he just kind of stops and falls. If you use them in midair he will stall for a bit, but it's not all that useful unless you're trying to use another bomb burst in the air. You can use them more than once, so for example something that I like to do is I like to throw a bomb, hold down the button, jump, perform a bomb burst, throw another bomb and hold down the button, perform the double jump and perform another bomb burst, and that could get you some really good height. A lot of people think that Plague Knight's platforming is very difficult because of the bomb burst. You're very committed to your jumps when you make them with Plague Knight. I kind of disagree, mostly because you can bomb burst more than once in midair, so if you've overshot yourself, you can use another bomb burst to kind of save yourself, if you haven't wasted your double jump, that is. The same collectible returns, and also there's collecting gold and such. The same collectible being the music sheets, but there is another collectible that we've seen throughout. It's these green coins. I'm not going to say the name of them just yet because we haven't been explained them. I guess is the way to put it. But just know that for now, collecting them is a pretty good thing. Another thing about the Bomb Burst is that it not only explodes blocks that are near Plague Knight, it can explode blocks that are above Plague Knight too. So if you're trying to get up somewhere, then just use a Bomb Burst and you'll be able to make some upward movement, I guess. That's probably the first tricky jump that anyone's going to have to make in Plague of Shadows, that one right there. Luckily they put a checkpoint right before it, so you don't get thrown too far back if you do die. Also, I'm going to be doing the same thing as before, destroying all the checkpoints, getting all of the music sheets and all that. So, pretty much a 100% run of the game. Except for, you know, the feats, because I can't get all of those in one run. There's some that are like, get everything, and some that are get nothing, so can't exactly overlap those. Plague Knight also has those weird cannon things to deal with. You just blow up the front of them, get inside of them, and they'll shoot you in whatever direction they desire. Usually it's going to be up. In fact, I think every time it's up. You might have noticed by now that we're essentially playing the same stage that Shovel Knight played his first time around. It is a bit different because we're playing as Plague Knight with his different mechanics and such, but the campaign is very similar. We're going to fight a lot of the same bosses, we're going to do a lot of the same platforming challenges, just kind of with a different spin on them. Rather than having our epic shovel charge slash thing, we have the Bomb Burst. Rather than swiping at close range, we can snipe enemies from long range with our bombs. And of course, there used to be a platform there, but now there isn't. We need to Bomb Burst to get across. And right here, that hole in the ground right there, that was not there originally. It was next to the dragon. You could kind of see where the platform splits off next to the dragon over there. That's where the hole used to be. Also, fighting the dragon is a bit more difficult because we can't just spam shovel drop on him. We actually have to aim our shots because they move at a 45-degree angle when you're in the air. So, yeah, that's that. And right here, you're forced to use the Bomb Burst. I guess the reason that they did that was because you need to know that you can actually use the Bomb Burst on ladders, which Shovel Knight you couldn't charge. Well, not you couldn't charge, but you couldn't use a charge slash on a ladder, even if you had something like the Dynamo Mail. You just do a regular slash while on one. With Plague Knight, though, you can just Bomb Burst whenever you want, really. Also, dirt piles are destroyed immediately, and the dirt, well, not the dirt, but the gold inside of it explodes kind of inward, unlike Shovel Knight's where it went outward. By which I mean to say, when you hit it with a bomb, it sort of just stays near the dirt pile, whereas if you hit it with Shovel Knight's shovel, it'll go away from the dirt pile, opposite of the direction that you're standing from it. Kind of a weird explanation. Anyway, that Cypher coin, wait, I said the name of it, oh well. That Cypher coin right there was the last one in this stage. There's going to be 30 in most of the main stages. Some of them might have a little less. We'll get into those special cases when they do happen. And the first boss is going to be Black Knight. But the Magicist got a new little character portrait up in the corner. That's pretty neat, I guess. And apparently Black Knight is interrogating the Magicist because I guess the Magicist is working with Plague Knight or something. Black Knight is claiming that Plague Knight is making a potion for the Magicist to fall in love with Plague Knight, but I don't know, Plague Knight doesn't seem like the kind of guy who would really fall in love at all, considering how the minions acted toward him. At least there aren't any characters so far that would make sense for. Black Knight is really easy. What I like to do for a lot of the bosses in this game is just Bomb Burst into the air and hit him with your bombs as you're just staying up there. Not very difficult. Sometimes it's easier than Shovel Knight, sometimes it's harder. This case, I think it was easier. But now that we've done that and Black Knight goes off and runs away, we actually can go to the world map. Of course, it's going to look very similar to the world map that we used in Shovel Knight's campaign. But as soon as you go to the village, stuff starts getting a little bit different. For example, this knight here at the front of the town doesn't want us to enter because we actually have weapons, unlike Shovel Knight, who has just a shovel. If we do try to go into town, then the knight will drag us back. I don't see why Plague Knight doesn't just attack anyone, but whatever. And of course the people are scared once they see Plague Knight if they're walking away from the town. Luckily, rather than going to the world map, if we go to the left, we instead see this hedge farmer here. And apparently, he lost the lock to his door to the secret entrance to wherever Plague Knight wants to go. We don't really need a locksmith though, and a week is too long to wait. So, I'm just gonna blow up his house. And we can get inside that way. Sorry about your house. I don't really care, but whatever. That breakable wall right there, I think there was a music note. Well, sheet. Damn it. I went back to it, and there was Shovel Knight right above us. Apparently, just heading into town. He didn't even talk to the bard. Well, I guess I'm the one who has the music sheets, so he doesn't really have to. And, of course, as the intro cutscene showed, Mona here is in cahoots with Plague Knight. Which is, pretty interesting. I mean, she's the only other green-skinned character. Well, Plague Knight isn't exactly green-skinned. He's wearing armor and stuff all over his body, so you can't exactly tell what his, skin color is. But, apparently Mona had this secret underground entrance thing. And inside was the Potionatorium. Basically, Plague Knight's hub. You come here to turn in your music sheets, to turn in your cipher coins, and to buy stuff. The first thing that you probably want to buy if you're very casual like me is the Float Burst. I'm not going to show it off just yet. I'll show it off once we get into a level. But as you saw there, you can blow up your minions if you want to. And it is pretty cathartic, so go ahead and do so whenever you desire. We got our first Arcana here. That's what they call the special items in this game. Essentially the same as relics, but just a different name. And we can also buy magic upgrades from the Magicist, just like with Shovel Knight, as well as getting some more potions to drink whenever we need. And here's Percy as well. This is the character that I was like, oh, this character appears in Shovel Knight's campaign. He's usually near a catapult, and he has a lot darker hair for some reason, but here he is, and he apparently works with not Shovel Knight, with Plague Knight. This is Oolong here. As we were talking to Percy, we need to bring him music notes. Sheets, damn it. And when we do, he either takes them and gives you some advice, as well as 500 gold, or he will throw them into Oolong there. And when he does throw them into Oolong, Oolong gets a new song, as shown by him jittering around as he sits. You can also throw bombs into Oolong's head flute thing, and he'll breathe out a specific fire based on whatever bomb you throw into his mouth, because you can buy multiple bombs in this game. You buy them from Mona. And this bait bomb here, I'm going to be just showing it off a little bit. Maybe using the minions as test subjects. But you shoot one off with the item button, just like with Shovel Knight. However, Plague Knight's magic isn't the same as Shovel Knight's. Rather than it being, you have a certain amount of magic and you need to pick up magic items, like little pots out in the overworld in order to fill it up. You can use it however much you want, based on that meter. And the tropical pond seems to have nothing going on. So I'll just blow that guy up and leave. We'll deal with that later. And I'll explain how the magic works later as well. But for now, that's going to be pretty much the end of this part. Next time, we'll be heading to King Knight stage. Also, if you press the info button, just like with Shovel Knight's campaign, once you've beaten it, you can see what's in the levels. So, that's that for now. Next time, we'll face off with King Knight.